Assalamu alaikum everyone. On behalf of Pakistan Alliance for Early Childhood, I welcome you all on our webinar series. Can you hear me, Madiha? Hello? Maybe stuck over
Yes,
the
I can
last
hear
one.
you.
I don't know. Madiha ki awaaz nahi aa rahi.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum everyone. On behalf of Pakistan Alliance for Early Childhood, I welcome you all to our webinar series. And today's webinar is going to be Growing in an Inclusive Home Environment and its Impact on Child Development. And with this, I would request Khadija Khan to introduce our today's speaker, Madhya Sajid. Over to you, Khadija.
Thank you so much, Uruj. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. On behalf of Pakistan Alliance and the overwhelming number of participants, I would like to welcome Ms. Madiha Sajid and Dr. Devi. It's our honor that you both have been giving us time and giving us the opportunity to learn from you. And it is really, pleasing to see that so many people, around 58 people have joined and more are going to join. I know because of internet connectivity and everything, it takes some time to join us. But it's very good to see a huge number of participants, and I'm sure they will benefit from this important webinar. Let me introduce our worthy speaker of today's webinar. Ms. Madiha Sajid is our today's facilitator of the webinar, and I'm sure Dr. Devi will also be sparing few moments to share her precious thoughts with us. Ms. Madiha Sajid is a fellow of the Higher Education Academy UK and works at Imperial College London. And she is an educationist. She has studied education, special education, gender and international development, and she has done a lot of work on international development and the related fields. So I will not take much of her time, and I will hand over the webinar to Ms. Madiha. So over to you, Ms. Madiha. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Khadija. Thank you very much, Aruj. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to all my colleagues who are joining in today's session. I'm so grateful कि आपने इतनी एक afternoon में गर्मी में time निकाला है to come online and to join us for today's conversation. My name is Madiha, and as Khadija has just mentioned, I am an educationist. I will be talking to you today about the importance of inclusion in family environments. And I have a couple of questions. I wanted to know, who am I talking to today? Who is my audience today? Aaj aapne ye session join kiya hai. So are you joining as a parent? Are you joining as a teacher? Are you joining as an educationist? Or are you joining as both? If you can please write that in the chat window कि आज आप ये webinar, ये session किस position में join कर रहे हैं, it will help me to formulate my conversation. And whilst you're writing down your replies into the chat window, I will invite my colleague, Dr. Debbie Kramer-Roy, to come and say a few words of welcome, because essentially you will know in a minute, she is the engine behind this whole project. Over to you, Debbie.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So great to see you.
Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me along, Madiha, so I can listen in to your seminar. I just introduced myself very, very quickly. I've lived in Pakistan for 9 years, and also for very recently, for 3 years, I was leading a project in Karachi, an action research project on inclusive education. And Madiha was one of my co-leaders on that project. And we were working together from the UK, Brunel University and University College London. And in Karachi, we had Dow University of Health Sciences and the AMI School, which is a very good inclusive school in Karachi. And what we did, we worked together with occupational therapists in the school. And from that school, the AMI school, also in some other schools. So what we did was we developed an approach to inclusive education where occupational therapists and teachers worked really together. It's a proper collaboration. That's the most important thing that we learned, that if you do it together, then you can build very successful inclusion. So what we want to encourage is that you would go and find our resource guide that we have produced. I can put it in the chat in a minute where you can find that, and that you would have a look at that and see if this is something for you, so that more people in Pakistan can learn from what we have learned. And the collaboration, of course, it doesn't only have to be with occupational therapists. It could be with psychologists or speech therapists or anybody really who works for children's health and welfare. But read it like that. And of course, the even more important collaborator in all of this is not the professionals, but the parents. And that is why Madiha is talking to you today about how parents can learn more about inclusion of children with special needs in mainstream schools, and how schools can welcome the parents and really, really listen to them as equal collaborators and not just appendages of the child. So I'm hoping that you will really, really enjoy today's introduction, and let us know if you would welcome any more training, because we are working on planning some more sessions of a longer course for you. So back to Madiha.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Over to you, Madiha.
Thank you, Aruj. Thank you so much again. जिन लोगों ने chat में लिखा है कि वो as parents join कर रहे हैं और as teachers join कर रहे हैं, that's what I want to know. So I will start sharing my screen, and let's take it from there. I hope the technology is my friend today. Perfect. Right. So, जैसे Aruj ने बताया, today's session is about growing in an inclusive home environment and its impact on child development. I will try not to bombard you with too much science today. I will try to keep it simple, and I will try to keep it as relatable as possible. Welcome, very warm welcome from the Inclusive Education team. I don't know how to hide this thing. This is annoying me. Ugh. Hide floating meeting controls. There we go. Lovely. Okay. So warm welcome from the Inclusive Education team. ये तस्वीर हमने कराची में ली थी actually 2-3 साल पहले. This is the team that Debbie was just talking about. It is the project that we were doing in Karachi for about 3 years with the school, with occupational therapists. And after the project, we continue the work. We continue to disseminate the findings that we found from our project. And this is why we are here today. Who am I? I am Madiha. I am a well-being manager. I live in London. यहाँ पे एक university है, UCL. I have set up a network for parents and carers. It's called the PACT network. I chair that network. I also do work in gender equality. I'm the lead for that. And very recently, I have actually moved from this university and I have joined Imperial College London. But I think this is the boring bits about me. The real bit is this bit that you can see right now. I'm also a mother. मैं किसी की माँ हूँ. I'm a daughter. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a chef, and I'm an emergency bank for my daughter. And the reason I share this with you is because I want you to know कि जो भी मैं आपसे आज conversation कर रही हूँ, जो भी मैं आपसे experiences or knowledge share कर रही हूँ, they are also my lived experience as a parent. I have a daughter. She is 16 years old. When she was born, she had some bone deformities. And throughout her life, we have been on a journey together, a lot of medical treatments, a lot of physiotherapies, a lot of hospital appointments. So I know from heart, what does it feel like to have a child who has got any additional need? This was the reason I wanted to let you know, okay, I'm not only this professional network chair, blah, 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 but I'm also a very real person. By ethnicity, I am a Pakistani. मैंने पाकिस्तान में ज़िंदगी के 25 साल गुजारे हैं. उसके बाद I moved to London and I have been here since. So bear with me for this one and let's see what's coming up next. Another very important bit. Today specifically, I'm speaking to you in my capacity as an accredited manager for positive mental health and well-being. And I have done this training from the Royal College of Psychiatry in the UK. It means essentially that I am an accredited practitioner. I am qualified to do this. That's why because today's conversation is going to be a lot about inclusion. It is going to be about your well-being. It is going to be about your family lives. So that's why it is important for me to let you know that I am qualified to deliver this training. आज के सेशन में क्या होगा? We will try to cover 3 things basically. First thing is understanding inclusion and the importance of inclusion for families. Secondly, we will discuss how to engage with siblings. And siblings जो होते हैं वो छोटे बहन भाई या बड़े बहन भाई जो घर में होते हैं बच्चों के. And the third thing, we will learn how to build our resilience and how to cope with stress. And this is my favorite bit because we can talk for 2 days and, we will still have so much more to say. But let's just get started. Let's get started with the first one, part 1. What is inclusion? Again, like I was saying at the beginning, I will try not to bombard you with science. मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि जो मेरी conversation है आपके साथ वो बहुत simple terms में हो, बहुत understandable terms में हो. So inclusion at its heart, it really means being together within a family. Inclusion means always being together, always participating in activities, in decisions, in choices, always supporting each other, learning from each other, and welcoming each other. And please do keep in mind that this session today, it is directed more towards families and parents so that they can work together with teachers and schools to provide better frameworks and better living conditions for their children. So let's talk a bit about inclusion. ये जो diagram अभी आप देख रहे हैं screen पे, it is a very popular diagram that we have used many times throughout our research. अगर आप लेफ्ट पे देखें तो जो सबसे पहला जो सर्कल है which is called exclusion. Exclusion का मतलब ये होता है कि आपने, and I will give you an example जो मैं हमेशा देती हूँ, शादी जो पाकिस्तान में शादियां होती हैं, अगर आप शादी के अंदर गए हैं तो कई दफा ये हो गया है कि जो छोटे बच्चे होते हैं जो शादियों में फैमिलीज के साथ आए हुए होते हैं उनको हम कहते हैं आप जाके अपना अलग खेलो या हमें तंग नहीं करो और हम उनको कई दफा शादी पे लेके भी नहीं जाते, घर पे छोड़ जाते हैं. So that is what we have excluded them. हम उनको exclude कर देते हैं. That is the first circle जहाँ पे बाहर ये रंग बिरंगे छोटे dots बने हुए हैं. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है जब हम अपने पेरेंट्स की बहुत ज्यादा उनको रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं तो वो कहते हैं चलो ठीक है आ जाओ, लेकिन हम आपको शादी में जाके बिल्कुल अलग से बैठना, आप लोगों ने हमारे साथ आके नहीं बैठना है, हमें तंग नहीं करना है. डोंट टीज अस, फंक्शन है, बड़े भी होंगे बच्चे भी होंगे, अपना अलग खेलो. दैट इज कॉल्ड सेग्रीगेशन. हम उनको अलग जगह पे बिठा देते हैं. ये हम बड़े बैठे हुए हैं और ये बच्चों को हमने अलग कर दिया है, सेग्रीगेट कर दिया है. जब बच्चे थोड़े से बड़े हो जाएं तो वो कहते हैं ओके हमने भी आपके साथ आपके टेबल पे बैठना है, हमें भी बिठा लें साथ. हम कहते हैं चलें ठीक है आ जाएं, कम सिट विद अस. देन इट इज इंटीग्रेशन. हमने उनको टेबल पे कोने में बिठा दिया कि ज्यादा बात नहीं करना, हमें डिस्टर्ब नहीं करना, हम बड़े बातें कर रहे हैं. We brought them here but we have put them aside. एक टेबल पे कोने पे बिठा दिया उनको. Or which is fine, it depends on the condition, it depends on the context. The inclusion is जब हमने उनको actually अपने साथ mix up कर दिया है, उनको include किया है. हम टेबल पे बैठ के जो भी बातें कर रहे हैं, हम किसी के कपड़ों की तारीफ कर रहे हैं, हम खाना enjoy कर रहे हैं, हम the wedding is very beautiful, the stage is very nice. When we talk all about those things, तो बच्चों की भी हम बात सुन रहे हैं, उनकी भी opinion on board ले रहे हैं. That is called inclusion. We are including them in our conversations, in our opinions. Similarly, now try to apply this concept in your family environments, at your homes. जो बच्चे जिनकी special needs हैं, children with special needs, normally in a Pakistani context, unfortunately, they are excluded from the society, which is this part. Sometimes we go one step forward, we segregate them into separate groups, we put them into different groups, which is fine, but that doesn't really do the trick. And then when we even bring them in, जब हम उनको लेके भी आते हैं तो हम उनको रूम में बिठा देते हैं कोने में, or we don't really pay attention to what they want, what do they have to say, what do they want from us. We just do a tick box exercise. We put them in the corner of a room without giving them much thought, without fully including them. But the good thing is, where we all want to be, what we all want to achieve is this circle, inclusion circle. And inclusion means that including them, participating with them in activities, listening to their opinions, listening to their views, and helping them to integrate into the society and into the home environment. And you might wonder, why is inclusion important? क्यों important है inclusion आपके ख्याल में? आपके ख्याल में क्यों जरूरी है कि बच्चों को, बड़ों को include किया जाए? You know, it's very easy to put them in one corner and say, okay, you sit there, we sit here, we will not bother you, you don't bother us. Why is inclusion important for families? सबसे पहले, it helps with a good environment at home. जब आप घर में सब बच्चों को include करेंगे conversations में, decision making में, discussions में, it's going to foster a good supportive environment at home, which will help you build stronger relationships. जब आपके अपने बच्चों के साथ stronger relationships होंगे, that will help you feel better, and that will help children feel better and develop a strong bond with each other. When you're together as a family, as a strong bond, this will definitely mean that you have a better social life. And I will give you a very, very personal example. I told you about my daughter. When she was born, she had bone deformities. शुरू में मुझे समझ नहीं आता था कि मैं कैसे इस चीज को accept करूं और कैसे लोगों को बताऊं, because everyone used to ask questions. Everyone used to, लोग stare करते थे. जो क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते थे वो स्टेयर करके चुप करके चले जाते थे. जो क्वेश्चन पूछते थे, they used to be very rude sometimes. They didn't even know how to ask the questions. कुछ लोग थे जो कि बहुत ख्याल में, बहुत कंसिडरेशन से, बहुत हमदर्दी से पूछते थे. But even then they used to pretend that the question they used to ask me is कि इसको क्या हुआ है, आपकी बेटी को क्या हुआ है. And I used to, in the beginning, when I did not know about inclusion, I used to get very angry. I used to get very upset. I used to get very frustrated at these questions क्योंकि मुझे वो questions handle करना नहीं आते थे. I did not know how to answer those questions, how to respond to those questions. And I will tell you how I figured out a strategy, how to respond to those questions. One day I sat down, I did some research about the condition that my daughter had. The condition is that in her leg, there is one bone, whereas normally there are two bones. So I did my research about that condition. Then I spoke to the doctors कि इसका आगे जो treatment plan है वो क्या होगा. And then I combined the two. When I had that knowledge, when I had that information, then I explained that to my daughter. She was very small at that time. 2-3 साल की बच्ची से आप इतना expect नहीं कर सकते कि वो she will be able to understand these concepts. But age appropriate जितना भी था मैंने उसको explain किया. And I realized that once I had spoken to my daughter and my husband about this, once we were on the same level, then it was easier for us to face the world. जब हमारे घर में एक environment था inclusion का कि हम बेटी से हर बात पूछ रहे हैं, जरूरी नहीं है कि उसकी हर बात मान भी रहे हैं, but at least we are listening, we are giving her a chance to speak with us, we are speaking with her. That gave us a lot of confidence. And I noticed कि जो ही मैंने ये inclusion की strategy अपनाई, then immediately I became more confident in responding to people's questions. जब भी लोग मुझसे आके पूछते थे आपकी बेटी की टांग ठीक सीधी नहीं है, वो सीधी तरह वॉक नहीं कर रही, चल नहीं रही, इसको क्या हुआ है, I would say, yes, you are right, आप ठीक कह रहे हैं, because जब बेटी पैदा हुई थी तो इसकी एक bone missing है, अभी इसकी treatment चल रही है, and very soon she will be able to walk and run properly. अब आप बताएं आपकी life में क्या हो रहा है. So I learned these strategies once I went onto that journey. And I think the important thing to remember is कि जब मैंने inclusion का concept understand किया, then it helped me build my relationships. It gave me a better social life. क्योंकि उससे पहले मुझे ये feel हो रहा था कि मैंने लोगों के घर जाना छोड़ दिया. I'm trying to hide from people. But once I understood that, it gave me better social life. It gave good academic performance for my daughter. Her attendance at school increased. She showed a very positive behavior. Her self-confidence improved. And I'm so pleased to share with you today that आज वो माशाल्लाह 16 साल की बच्ची है. She is at the top of her class. She speaks 3 different languages. She plays musical instruments. उसको इंग्लिश में कुरान पाक की ट्रांसलेशन, वो एक दफ़ा कुरान पाक ख़त्म कर चुकी है. She is doing English translation now. She writes stories, she writes poetries, and all of that because we accepted the inclusion strategy. We implemented that in our families. Now I want to talk about why is inclusion important for education. मुझे I'm conscious कि जो chat में लोगों ने बताया है, बहुत सारे colleagues जो आज join कर रहे हैं, many of you are teachers, many of you are parents. I think there are some people who are principals or who are the senior management as well. So it is really important today to discuss कि inclusion जो है वो education के साथ कैसे link होती है. You can see the diagram in front of you. The child is in the middle. The parent is on one side and the teacher is on one side. So it's a 3-way partnership. Parents and teachers are equally involved in the development of the child. When we say equally involved, or when we talk about inclusion, what are the benefits? Parental involvement ke ya parents ko involve karne ke kya benefits hain? Naturally, first of all, when parents are involved with the education of their child who has special needs or has no special needs, it is better collaboration between parents and teachers. It will give you better understanding of your children's social development, their emotional development needs, whatever their needs are, you can better understand them. For example, I remember कि जब मेरी बेटी school जाती थी, one of her specific needs was कि she could not run very fast. Or of course, naturally, जब बच्चे छोटे होते हैं, it is very important for them कि they should win in the race, जो भी class में sports day हो रहा है. So once I had the understanding that this is something that she struggles with, I was better able to explain to the teachers कि बेटी अभी इस वक्त medical treatment से गुजर रही है, she cannot run fast. Can you make provisions for this? If she cannot run fast, then she feels bad. So emotionally, जो उसकी needs हैं, how can you meet those needs in another way? And of course, another benefit of parental involvement is that you have better decision-making skills. You are a better parent when you know the needs of your child. It automatically increases your decision-making and your impact on your child's development. More use of affection and less use of punishment. जब आपको अपने बच्चे की बातें समझ में आएंगी, जब आपको अपने बच्चे की नीड समझ में आएंगी, you will be more affectionate towards them, and we will the punishing strategies or the strategies where we want to teach them a lesson, that will reduce. This is not to say that there is not a direct relationship. Every family is unique. Every family has their own way of setting up their own rules and regulations. So this will be a very fine balance between when do you want to stop the affectionate route, when would you like to discipline your child. We will talk about that in a minute as well. I want to mention कि जब parents involve होते हैं बच्चों की education में, and when they take an inclusive approach, what are the benefits for the child? बच्चा कैसे benefit करता है उससे? First of all, definitely they do better in their lessons because they know that the teacher is supporting them, that their parent is supporting them. They show better understanding of key concepts because जब हम inclusive approach लेके बच्चों को concepts explain करते हैं, तो we are not only sticking to one lesson only, one way only. It is not always going to be 2 + 2 = 4. It can also be 1 + 3 = 4. It can also be 5 - 1 = 4. So we are using multiple approaches, inclusive approaches, बच्चे को key messages समझाने के लिए. Once your child is understanding the concepts better, once their attendance is better, they will do better in their exams and tests. They will definitely increase in their performance. And once they increase in their performance, it gives them a lot of confidence. बच्चों में, I'm sure you can all relate to that, कि जब क्लास में बच्चे होते हैं, वो जो क्लास के टॉपर्स होते हैं, they are the cream of the lot, right? Everyone wants to be their friend, everyone wants to hang out with them. उससे बच्चों को बहुत confidence मिलता है. So all of this is sort of a chain reaction, and I think I have to mention कि जो inclusive education का concept है, it is beneficial for the family, the child who has got special needs, the family who has the child with special needs, but also सारे बच्चे, all children benefit from inclusive education. हर बच्चा अपनी इंडिविजुअल स्ट्रेंथ डेवलप करता है. हर बच्चा एक रिस्पेक्ट का कल्चर स्कूल के अंदर उसको अंडरस्टैंड करता है. एवरी स्कूल दैट encourages inclusive education, it is actually encouraging a child to become more mindful towards the needs of other children. More parents are involved in their education, and there are more opportunities to learn about inclusive education. So the point I'm trying to make is that inclusion, it is not a destination. It is not like a tick box exercise. It is not like, okay, maine ye wali cheez kar liya, now I'm inclusive. It is a constant journey that you go on. It is an everyday thing that you do. You integrate that into your own ways of teaching, into your ways of parenting. And I will give you a very small example. Meri beti, when she is deciding subjects about what to do next, of course I have to remember कि अब ये वो time नहीं है जब हम बच्चे थे और हम school जाते थे and there used to be only arts or science or engineering. The world has changed, the times have changed. There are dozens and dozens of subjects to choose from now. So I sat her down and I said to my husband that let's talk to our daughter and let's find out what she enjoys to do. We include her in the decisions about her future, because at the end of the day, it is her life. So at the same time, it doesn't always mean that inclusion का मतलब ये हरगिज नहीं है कि जो बच्चा मांग रहा है वो उसको दे दें. And that's it, your parental duty is done. Inclusion is not that. Inclusion means you listen and you include them in the decision-making process. चाहे वो ये decision है कि आपने holidays पे कहाँ जाना है, चाहे वो ये decision है कि आपने वीकेंड पे खाना बाहर कहाँ खाने जाना है, चाहे वो ये डिसीजन है कि बच्चे ने आगे सब्जेक्ट्स कौन से चूज करने हैं. I know here in the UK, after a certain age, the medical decisions, the child has to be included in the medical decisions. Of course, like I was saying, every family is unique, every family is different. You will have your own situations. The special needs of your child might be very different to the special need of my child. There is not an umbrella statement that will cover it all. But if you keep inclusion at the heart of your planning of everything, that is going to be one step in the right direction. So just a summary slide. What is the importance of parental involvement in the education and development of your child? When you support your child, you have better collaboration with the school, you have better networks and better social networks and friendships. The well-being of the family is increased. Excuse me. You share tips and ideas with others. So you form support networks. It goes in a cycle. It's not a one-stop thing. Ye ek koi destination nahi hai. You have to remember, it's not a destination. It's going to be a continued journey. So we have reached part one. What is the time? This is where I would like to ask for your input. How do you practice inclusion at home or school? कोई ऐसी strategy है जो आप करते हैं? कोई ऐसी tip है जो आप हम सबसे share करना चाहते हैं? Or if you have learned anything from the last 10 minutes, what does inclusion mean to you? What can you do? I will stop the screen share here and I will ask you to maybe put in the chat window, 1 or 2 words is enough. आप कैसे घर में या अपने स्कूल में कैसे आप inclusion practice करते हैं? Thank you. We will do this for about 2 minutes and then I will move on to the next part of the conversation. Oops. Right. I'm going through the chat now. Participation and involvement. Good. Through communication. On the dining table, you share your whole day. Excellent. Excellent idea. Yep. I think somebody has said really important thing about accepting emotionally and mentally. And then once you have that acceptance, after that, it becomes easy to help your child navigate this process. Because, you know, I will be very honest, it is a very, very hard place. It is a very difficult position to be in. I speak as a mother now, to see your child in pain or to see your child different from other children or to see something that your child does not have, whereas others have it. It is a very vulnerable place. I completely acknowledge that. और इसीलिए I believe that parents also need a lot of support. हम लोग अक्सर अपनी well-being needs को भूल जाते हैं, हम अपने आप को बिल्कुल ignore कर देते हैं, हमारी जो social needs हैं, हमारी जो emotional needs हैं, हम उनको बिल्कुल back burner पे डाल देते हैं. All our life becomes about our children. And I think that is why it is really important to highlight why it is so important to look after ourselves. अगर हम अपने आप को look after नहीं करेंगे, तो हम अपने बच्चों को look after नहीं कर सकते. And we will talk about this in a minute. I will quickly go through more chat messages. Give them time and space. Yes, acceptance, tolerance, excellent. Listen to their choices, listen to them even if they're wrong. Yep. Exercises, activities, dressing, excellent. You used to ask about dressing, stories, wonderful, great. Well, I'm glad to see कि बहुत से लोग participate कर रहे हैं और बहुत से लोग अपनी input दे रहे हैं. This is the aim of today's session, that we learn from each other. Inclusion का जो concept है वो मैंने आपको explain किया है, but how you incorporate that in your daily lives, there will be 1,000 different ways. And for every family, it will be a different way. जो मेरे लिए चीज सूट करती है, maybe वो आपके लिए सूट नहीं करती. जो आपके लिए सूट करती है, maybe that doesn't suit another family. So take what you want from today's session. Maybe not everything will be applicable, but I'm sure that you will find something that resonates with you. So part one, we are done with part one, which was about introducing you to the concept of inclusion and what are the benefits of inclusion to you as a family. I will start sharing my screen again because now we are moving on to part two of the conversation. Great. Okay. Now, part two is about the role of siblings. Siblings से मुराद है बच्चे जो घर में, किसी घर में 3 बच्चे हैं, किसी घर में 4 बच्चे हैं, आप सब आपके बहन भाई होंगे. So you are all siblings. We are 4 sisters and 1 brothers. जो मेरे siblings हैं वो कुछ पाकिस्तान में हैं, कुछ इंग्लैंड में हैं, कुछ in other country. So I want to talk to you about what is the role of siblings. जो छोटे बहन भाई हैं आपके बच्चे के, उनका क्या रोल होता है in bringing up the child in an inclusive environment. So normally जितनी मैंने दफा parents से बात की है, जितनी बार मैंने उनसे conversation में discuss किया है, normally I'm really sorry, मेरे neighbors कोई चीज fix कर रहे हैं, they are doing a lot of drilling and hammering. You will have to bear with the noise, please. Please forgive me for that. So coming back to the role of siblings, normally siblings are very understanding. They are very accommodating. जब उनके बड़े बहन भाई या छोटे बहन भाई की कोई स्पेशल नीड होती है, चाहे वो फिजिकल नीड हो, चाहे वो मेंटली कोई लर्निंग डिफिकल्टी है, तो जो बहन भाई होते हैं, दे टेक ऑन अ वेरी motherly or a very nurturing role. वो understand करते हैं, they try to give you as much space as possible. वो शायद आपकी घर के कामों में help भी करते हों. They help you, I don't know, in doing shopping, for example. शायद कुछ families के बच्चे इतने बड़े हों कि वो खाना बना सकें या cleaning कर सकें. In England here, because we don't have any domestic help, we have to do everything ourselves. But in Pakistan, I know कि ये facility होती है कि घर में आप you can have domestic help. घर में कोई काम करने वाला है या कोई बाजार से सौदा ला के देने वाला है. So it becomes slightly easier in some ways. जो बच्चे हैं, जो siblings हैं, मैं अभी siblings की बात कर रही हूँ specifically. Normally they are very supportive of the child with special needs. But at the same time, let's not forget, they are also very lonely. It can be a very lonely place sometimes to see कि जो उनके माँ बाप हैं, their complete focus, their complete attention is on that one child who has special needs. And when they get lonely, they are hungry for attention. Sometimes they go down the route of sadness. Sometimes they become very isolated. They become very withdrawn. But also sometimes they can become very, very aggressive. They can become very, very attention demanding. So there are both sides of the coin. On one side, अगर जो siblings हैं, जो बड़े या छोटे बहन भाई हैं, they will be very accommodating. They will be very supportive. हो सकता है आपके बच्चे को वो हाथ मुंह धुलाते हों, कपड़े बदलवाते हों, स्कूल लेके जाते हों. I'm sure आप में से बहुत से लोग हैं जो कि इस चीज से रिलेट कर सकते हैं कि आपने घर से स्कूल भेजते हुए उनको बोला है बेटा अपनी बहन का ख्याल रखना या बेटा अपने भाई का स्कूल में ख्याल रखना. So they automatically become little adults. They come in a position of responsibility. But at the same time, what I want to say to you today is that don't forget, they are also human beings. They are also your children. They are also equally I think, receptive. They should have the same attention, if not the same, but similar attention. Because if we don't do that as parents, और इसका मतलब ये है, and it's very hard to do that as parents. It's not easy. I will definitely not pretend that it is a very easy thing to do, to focus equal attention on all of your children. It's very hard, but at least we can try, and I can share some tips with you, or some sort of strategies with you, which will help you take one step in the right direction. Even if you start and if you take one thing from it, it will be very good. Because don't remember कि उन बच्चों को भी आपकी उतनी ही तवज्जो चाहिए, आपका उतना ही प्यार चाहिए, आपका उतना ही support चाहिए. So first of all, engage the siblings. Talk openly about the medical situation, depending upon the age of your जितने आपके बच्चों की जो age है, जो siblings हैं, अगर उनकी age इतनी है कि वो समझ सकते हैं, usually about 10, 11, 12 साल की age में बच्चे समझना शुरू हो जाते हैं बातों को. और जो बड़े siblings हैं, जो बड़े बहन भाई हैं, जो 15, 16, 17 साल की age में, they can completely understand. Even जो छोटे बच्चे हैं, जो younger siblings हैं, for example 5-6 साल की age में, उनकी एज के मुताबिक, उनके कैलिबर के मुताबिक, उनकी समझ के मुताबिक उनसे ओपनली बात करें about the medical situation of your child. It is really important to be honest with them. It is really important to give that space कि उनको medical situation समझाएं कि बेटे आपकी बहन या आपके भाई के साथ एक medical condition है, and this is the situation, this is how it affects their everyday life, and maybe this is why they need more of our attention, they need more of our support. जब आप बच्चे से openly बात करेंगे, उनको medical situation समझाएंगे, they are more likely to understand why you need to give them more time, why you need to give more time to the child with special needs. जब आप बच्चे से बात कर रहे हैं मेडिकल कंडीशन के बारे में, और अगर वो आगे से परेशानी का इजहार करें या एंगर दिखाएं या सैडनेस दिखाएं या वरी दिखाएं, उस चीज को एक्नॉलेज करें. द वर्स्ट थिंग वी कैन डू एज पेरेंट्स इज टू से नहीं, कुछ नहीं होगा. दैट इज नॉट ट्रू. होगा, कुछ लाजमी होगा, या चीजें सुधरेंगी या चीजें बिगड़ेंगी. तो बच्चे को उसकी जो इमोशंस हैं उसको एक्नॉलेज करें. एंड आई थिंक वन मोर थिंग आई रियली वांट टू एम्फसाइज हियर इज के one of the very common mistakes we
Madiha, your voice is not audible.
really worried, वो मुझसे नाराज तो नहीं है, blah blah blah, whatever. I can do two things. I can say to her, don't worry about it, कुछ नहीं होता, सबके साथ ऐसे होता है, don't worry about it, कि खुद ही ठीक हो जाएगा. और which means कि अगर मैंने उसको ये बोला है तो I have basically told her कि what you are feeling is wrong, तुम्हारी feelings important नहीं है, ये खुद ही ठीक हो जाएगा. And when I do that, तो फिर वो अगली बार मेरे पास आके मुझसे अपनी बात शेयर नहीं करेगी, because she knows कि अम्मी ने तो यही बोला है, कुछ नहीं होता, ठीक हो जाएगा. I have not given the acknowledgement to her emotion. That's why she will not come to me next time. Whereas if I say to her, agar aapke friends aapse baat nahi kar rahe, how is that making you feel? And then she will say, oh, it's making me feel sad, I'm feeling down. And then maybe I can say to her, okay, maybe you can try asking your friends कि क्या problem है, बात क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, कोई लड़ाई है, कोई मसला है, how can you resolve this problem? अगर मैं उसको 2 मिनट अपने टाइम के देके उसकी बात सुन लूं, उसका इमोशन सुन लूं, without discarding her emotion, without telling her that she's feeling wrong, then that would be one step in the right direction. क्योंकि अगली बार she will feel more safe to come and talk to me. And I want to say this कि please ये बात याद रखें, आजकल के दौर में जब ये मोबाइल फोन्स हमारे हाथों में हैं, it is very easy to go away and speak to someone else. I'm sure you know what I mean. अगर पेरेंट्स घर में वो टाइम या वो सपोर्ट नहीं दे पा रहे हैं बच्चों को, they will find it really easy to go online, to speak to strangers, to make new friends, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. But for you, where you draw that line as a family, it is really important कि आपके बच्चे जो भी आपके पास emotion लेके आए, उस emotion को acknowledge करें rather than discarding that emotion. Talk to them about their worries. You might not have all the solutions, you might not have all the answers, but at least talking, that is the first step towards seeking solutions, seeking problems. And I'm saying this because I'm a trained practitioner in this. Talking really helps. और ये सिर्फ बच्चों के लिए नहीं है, आपके खुद के लिए भी है. When you are in a situation जहाँ पे आपको वरी है, किसी चीज की परेशानी है, एंग्जाइटी है, एटलीस्ट आपकी लाइफ में एक इंसान ऐसा जरूर होना चाहिए टू whom you can go, you can talk about your worries. आपकी बच्चों की लाइफ में most likely it is you, your parents, you are there, you are the safe space for them. Your child should feel safe to come and speak to you about their worries. अपने बच्चों से बात करें उनकी परेशानी के बारे में. और ये जो लेफ्ट पे आप देख रहे हैं, ये जो जाल बना हुआ है, ये जाल शायद हम सबके जहनों में होता है, ये जाल हमारे बच्चों के जहनों में होता है. लेकिन when we start talking to someone, तो ये जाल शायद एक more definitive shape लेना शुरू कर देता है. It becomes clearer. It might not have all the answers, but in some ways it becomes clearer. तो उनकी worries के बारे में, चाहे वो worries उनकी siblings के बारे में है, चाहे वो उनकी worries उनके जो बच्चा है with special needs उसके बारे में है, चाहे उनकी worries उनकी education के बारे में है, whatever that is, talk to them about their worries. Set aside time for each child. And I know it is very easy to say this, it is very hard to do this. I'm also a parent, I have a full-time job, I've got to do the cooking, the cleaning, everything. I've got to make sure I give time to my daughter also. लेकिन कोशिश करें कि भले वो 10 मिनट हैं आपके लिए, भले वो 5 मिनट हैं, लेकिन हर बच्चे को उसका separate time दे. Do things together as a family. Maybe you eat food together as a family. Maybe you all watch some TV drama or a movie as a family. Family activities definitely करें, लेकिन साथ साथ हर बच्चे को उसका individual time दें, depending upon their age. It could be कि आपने रात को 1 कप बैठ के चाय पीना है अगर आपके बच्चे बड़े हैं उनके साथ. It could be कि आपने 5 मिनट के लिए बच्चे को जाके बेड टाइम स्टोरी सुना दी है. It could be कि आपने 5 मिनट के लिए बच्चे से बैठ के सिर्फ ये सुन लिया है कि बेटे आपका दिन कैसा रहा, what did you do today. But वो 5 मिनट या वो 10 मिनट जो आप दे रहे हैं, उसमें इस चीज को साइड पे रखते हैं. वो आपका बच्चे का आप पे हक है. उतना टाइम your child, they have a right for that time, that affection, that attention from you. And I think when I say each child, I want to say कि जो the child with special needs, give them their own time, but the child who has no special needs, give them their own time and their attention. अगर रोज नहीं कर सकते हैं, हर दूसरे दिन कर लें. हर दूसरे दिन नहीं कर सकते, हफ्ते में 2 बार कर लें, हफ्ते में 1 बार कर लें. But that individual attention, that is really, really key. I've got 2 more things to share. Try to treat all children the same, with special needs or without special needs. And why do I say this? Because as you can see in the diagram, if you don't do this, then very quickly there are feelings of resentment and feelings of anger जो के siblings में आ जाती हैं. And they think, okay, मेरी बहन, let's call the बहन, I don't know, call her Zara. Zara तो she gets away with everything every time. उसको तो कोई कुछ भी नहीं कहता, मुझे सब कहते हैं. This is a very, very common feeling in children, particularly children who have families with special needs. तो आप कोशिश करें कि where possible you treat children in the same way when you are disciplining them, and try to do something which do a threat which you can keep. Maybe if you want to say no TV for all of you, then it means no TV for all of them, including the child with special needs and the child without special needs. Because if you try to treat them differently, again, it is going to give the sibling the feeling that मुझे support नहीं मिल रहा, मुझे वो attention नहीं मिल रही, and then they will become lonelier and they will become isolated, and eventually they will become very, very angry and aggressive. तो कोशिश करें कि जब आप अपने बच्चों को डिसिप्लिन करें तो you give them the similar level of disciplining, whatever that is. चाहे वो आइसक्रीम नहीं खानी या वो I don't know, आजकल के बच्चे तो आइसक्रीम means nothing for them, but anyway, whatever that is, try to be same and consistent in your approach. Last point, look at the positive. When you are engaging the siblings, remember that you are doing a brilliant job as a parent. You are raising a child with special needs. Maybe you are a teacher, you are educating a child with special needs. At the same time, the siblings of that child, they are growing up with a lot of respect for all people. They are growing up with a lot of understanding, a lot of compassion, a lot of inclusion towards everybody. And this is one positive that you can focus on if things get too much for you one day. And I think it's very fair to say कि वो families जहाँ पे बच्चे होते हैं जिनकी special needs होती हैं, those families are somehow different to the other families क्योंकि वो families बहुत compassionate होती हैं, बहुत strong hoti hain, very close together, because you're all going through a difficult time together. My last tip is that look at the positive, look at the bigger picture. And now this is end of part 2, and this is again where I would like to engage you. आप बताइए कि आप अपने घर में, अपने school में, setting में, what strategies can you use, or you have been using any of these strategies siblings के साथ. This time I'm talking about siblings. I am not talking about the child with special needs. Same as last time, agar aap chat window mein likhna chahein, how do you engage, or how can you engage using any of these strategies with the siblings? Or if something that you do which I have not mentioned, please do share that with everybody. I'll stop the screen share, and then after 2 or 3 minutes, we will move on to the next part. Okay. Great. Right. Please do write in the chat, engage children in art activities, talking to them about their problems. Yes. Yeah. Decide the outing. Agreed. Now, meri ek beti hai. I mean, I don't have other children, so I think I can say that I can speak of my experience as a sibling because I come from a big family. We are 4 sisters and 1 brother. और मुझे हमेशा ये लगता था बचपन में कि नहीं, मुझसे सबसे ज्यादा काम कराया जाता है घर में, and life is very unfair. And I know it's not true at all, but because one way or the other, our parents sort of, वो family वाला time तो बहुत सारा होता था, सबके साथ हम walks पे भी जाते थे, हम outings भी करते थे. But the one-to-one time, I did not find that much in my childhood. So as a sibling, I know कि अगर किसी भी दिन, any day, my mother or my father, they sit me down and they talk to me, only me, that makes me feel really happy. Oh, hang on, they have made time for me. They have made time for my problems, my worries. I'm important to them as well. So please do. Yeah, I think people are already sharing. I love to talk to them about their emotions. Yes. आप में से कोई walks पे जाता है अपने बच्चों के साथ? Anyone goes and walks? I know कि दिन में तो बहुत गर्मी होती है. What about late evenings? Do you go on walks? Great. How about, do you do joint cooking together? Anyone? बच्चों के साथ मिलके आप cooking करते हैं? Great. Excellent. So see, you're already doing all of these things. It's about sharing these ideas with everyone. What about listen to your child carefully? Very important. Excellent. That's excellent. What about art activities? Anyone is a painter or drawing or something, crayons, something? Great. Excellent. Cutting, peeling, yeah, chopping carrots, गाजरे में अपनी बेटी को all धनिया काटना उसकी responsibility है, बर्तन धोना उसकी responsibility है. If I do the cooking, she will do the cleaning up. And if she does the cooking, then she asks me to leave the kitchen because she doesn't like me being around. She thinks I stress her out too much. So I leave the kitchen when she's doing cooking. Great. Perfect. That's excellent to hear that all of you are doing these activities already. If you are not doing these activities, take some inspiration from today. Think about what you can easily do with every single child of yours, the child with special needs, the child without special needs. And remember कि जो siblings हैं, उनकी feelings को आपने ignore नहीं करना, उनकी worries को आपने ignore नहीं करना. Listen to them. Gardening, excellent. Right, okay, so let's move on to the last part, well, the second last part of today's conversation. which is perhaps the most important part. Building resilience and coping with stress. We will be talking about difficult emotions, sleep deprivation, heavy workload, work-life balance. Or before I start off on this part, I want to say to you कि मैं भी आप ही की तरह एक I'm a human being, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, wife, everything. My day is very full on, जैसे कि I'm sure आप सबका भी है. मेरे पास पेरेंटल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं, मुझे अपनी बच्ची को लुक आफ्टर करना है, घर के काम करने हैं, खाना बनाना है, सफाई भी खुद करनी है, ऑफिस का सारा काम डिलीवर करना है. एट द सेम टाइम मेरी अम्मी जो है, शी लिव्स इन पाकिस्तान. एवरी डे आई मेक टाइम टू स्पीक विद हर. एटलीस्ट हमारी घंटे 2 घंटे की बात होती है, बिकॉज अदरवाइज शी गेट्स वेरी लोनली. सो माई पॉइंट इज के ये सब कॉन्वर्सेशंस जो मैं भी आपसे करने लगी हूँ, दे आर एज रियल टू मी एज दे आर टू यू. इट माइट मीन समथिंग डिफरेंट फॉर यू. आप हो सकता है किसी इमोशन के साथ आप रिलेट करें, हो सकता है किसी के साथ आप ना रिलेट करें, बट आई होप दैट यू विल फाइंड दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन यूजफुल. सो I wanted to show this picture to you, the other side. If you can see closely, जो पहली पिक्चर है जो टॉप पे है, ये कढ़ाई हुई हुई. आई थिंक ये कश्मीरी कढ़ाई है, कश्मीरी टांका है. फ्रंट पे इट लुक्स ब्यूटिफुल, इट लुक्स इन प्लेस. एक एक टांका, एक एक धागा अपनी जगह पे है. द फ्रंट इज ब्यूटिफुल, इट्स कंपोज्ड, इट्स टुगेदर. बट इफ यू लुक एट द बैक, यू विल सी अ डिफरेंट थिंग. कढ़ाई को जब उल्टा करके देखते हैं, उसके पीछे देखते हैं, तो आपको कटे हुए धागे भी नजर आएंगे, आपको उधड़े हुए टांके भी नजर आएंगे. You will see a lot of the stuff behind the scenes which is not visible at the front. और हम सब ऐसे ही हैं. We are all like this. Every human being is like this. हमारा front जो है वो calm, composed, friendly, mostly, you know, cooperative. And inside हम सब के mostly एक जंग चल रही होती है, about whatever that might be. So this is acknowledging that this is the other side. That is the first step. हो सकता है आपका challenge है, there is a lot of heavy workload, very very critical deadlines. अगर आप teaching में हैं तो I know how hard it is. बच्चों के examinations देखना, साथ साथ उनकी teaching देखना, साथ साथ अपनी training देखना. It could be अगर आप teaching में नहीं हैं, आप कुछ और करते हैं, तो of course the same thing applies to you. There are very very critical deadlines. Workload can become really heavy. A lot of us, you know, नींद कम मिलती है हमें. About adults को about 7 to 8 hours minimum मिलने चाहिए, लेकिन I think a lot of us we get by on about 6 hours, 7 hours maximum. वो भी तब कि अगर हम रात में उठे ना, या बच्चों ने हमें जगाया नहीं है, और we have just continued in one undisturbed sleep, which is like gold dust to me. We all have caring responsibilities. I'm sure कि जितने भी आज लोग यहाँ पे हैं, you all have children, or you all have, either you are parents to those children, or you are their teachers, or you are their supervisors, or you are caring for your own parents. That, let's not forget, that is also a caring responsibility. That is also one thing that you have to fulfill. हो सकता है आप अपने सास और ससुर की आप caring कर रहे हैं, हो सकता है आप अपने पेरेंट्स की कर रहे हैं, अपने हस्बैंड की, अपने वाइफ की कर रहे हैं, या अपने एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली में किसी की आप केयरिंग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज अदा कर रहे हैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो वन थिंग दैट कैन बिकम very very hectic very very quickly. It can become physically demanding and physically draining. And I don't know if you are familiar with the concept of burnout. Reaching burnout का मतलब ये है, जैसे ये दिया सलाई आप देख रहे हैं, you know, we start off by saying कि ठीक है, नहीं मैं खुद, and I'm one of those people, I will admit in front of you, okay fine, मैं सब कुछ कर लूंगी, everything is under control, मैं खाना भी रोज फ्रेश पकाऊंगी, मैं ऑफिस भी रोज जाऊंगी, और मैं बेटी को भी रोजाना आधा घंटा uninterrupted time दूंगी, और मैं जब काम करूंगी तो everything will be excellent, I will not compromise on my standards, और मैं नींद भी पूरी करने की कोशिश करूंगी, और मैं घर भी मेरा बिल्कुल साफ होगा. All of those things, and very quickly we reach burnout. हम अपने आप को इतना exhaust कर देते हैं, हम अपने आप को इतना थका देते हैं कि हम किसी भी front पे deliver नहीं कर पाते. Emotionally, physically, sometimes financially, हम अपने आप को इतना limits पे push कर देते हैं that we reach burnout. वो जो रॉकेट होता है जो स्पेस में जाता है, वो जो उसको जब स्पेस में भेजना होता है तो वो जो उसको इग्नाइट किया जाता है, उसके नीचे आग लगाई जाती है, आपने मूवीज में देखा होगा। और राइट बिफोर वो जब आग लगती है तो वो उसकी इंजन पावर बढ़ना शुरू हो जाती है, a lot of energy, it starts building up like this right before shooting off into the sky, वो जो last stage होता है, that is called burnout stage. बर्नआउट के बाद रॉकेट एकदम शूम करके हवा में चला जाता है। वो स्टेज जो होती है, अगर वो ह्यूमंस में आ जाए, दैट स्टेज इज नॉट गुड फॉर अस, एंड दैट इज अ वेरी वेरी बिग चैलेंज, जिसको हम सब इग्नोर करते हैं। अपनी नीड्स को हम इग्नोर करते हैं, हम वेट करते हैं, हम अपनी पूरी कोशिश करते हैं until we reach burnout, and then we just explode like the rocket. And that's what I'm here to tell you today, not to do that. And I'll tell you how not to do that. There is a Canadian-American psychologist. His name is Albert Bandura. So Bandura ने एक theory coin की है, एक theory introduce की है. The theory is called self-efficacy theory, self-worth. Basically, the theory ये है कि हमारी अपनी self-worth, हमारी अपनी आंखों में क्या है, मैं कितनी valuable हूँ अपनी नजर में, आप कितने वैल्यूबल हैं अपनी नजर में, और आप अपनी वैल्यू को किस तरह बढ़ा सकते हैं अपनी नजर में. बिकॉज व्हेन यू इंक्रीज योर वैल्यू, यू आर बिल्डिंग योर ओन resilience. Resilience means how you cope with everyday problems, how you cope with the stresses that life throws at you every day. सिग्नल बंद हो गया, लाइट चली गई, काम वाली नहीं आई, बच्चे ने कार्पेट पे दूध गिरा दिया, डेडलाइन नहीं मीट हुई. All of these stresses, they come and they impact us. So I will show you very quickly how you can build your resilience, how you can control your responses. And you know, it might be कि इसमें से कोई टेक्निक ऐसी हो जो कि आपको समझ में आए, हो सकता है it would not make sense to you at all, but try to listen carefully and try to see कि कौन सी ऐसी चीज है जो आपके साथ resonate करती है, what you can do, or maybe what you are doing already. इसके 4 elements हैं. You are at the middle, आप ये center में हैं. The first element is called mastery. The second is social modeling. The third is social persuasion. And the fourth is psychological responses. I will tell you what they are. Mastery means कि अगर आप काम पे हैं, अगर वहां पे आप जो आपकी job है, you perform a task so many times, you repeat it so many times that you become the master. आप उसको absolute, you have aced it, you have become the perfect person. And if now anyone needs help, they come to you to ask for help. If you become master at that, you are basically building your own self-worth, your own self-confidence. You are building your resilience. Secondly, social modeling. Social modeling means seeing other people successful and believing the same, that actually you can do it too. It means कि जब आप बाकी लोगों को अपने इर्द-गिर्द देखते हैं जो कि success might mean different things for you. It could mean a promotion. It could mean a better salary. It could mean a better work-life balance. Success will mean different to different people. मेरे नजदीक somebody who is successful is a person who is happy, जो रात को चैन से सो जाता है. I think for me, that is ultimate success. You know, of course, it's easy to say all these things. I completely understand कि बीच में financial constraints भी आते हैं, बीच में emotional, physical, social constraints, all of them come into play. But at the end of the day, I want to see people who are successful and who will help me believe that I can be like them also. That is called social modeling. The third concept is social persuasion. It means that we spend more time with people who encourage us, who give us positive energy, who build us up. वो लोग नहीं जो कि बिल्कुल हमें for everything that I say to them, वो उनके पास आगे से critique होती है, but people who will give me positive feedback, who will make me feel good about myself. That way, I will build my resilience, my coping strategies. And the last thing I want to say is the psychological responses, managing my own stress levels, managing my own emotions. And this means कि अगर मुझे अपने own stress levels पता है, मुझे पता है कि मुझे किस चीज से चिढ़ होती है, I can avoid that. And when I avoid that, then it will help me build my self-confidence. It will help me build my resilience. I will give you an example. I drive here, or when I'm driving, there are very strict traffic laws. You know, बिल्कुल आप speed limit exceed नहीं कर सकते, right lane में रहना है, horn नहीं बजाना, etc. XYZ. तो मेरी बेटी अल्लाह ताला उसको खुश रखे, उसकी एक बहुत खूबसूरत आदत है और वो ये कि जब मैं ड्राइव कर रही होती हूँ तो दैट इज हर टाइम टू आस्क मी द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस. फॉर एग्जांपल, मामा मैं अपने ए लेवल में कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स चूज करूँ, या मम्मा हमें लाइफ में कितने पैसे सेव करने चाहिए. द थिंग्स दैट रिक्वायर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंकिंग, द थिंग्स दैट रिक्वायर अ लॉट ऑफ फोकस, वो मुझसे जब मैं ड्राइविंग करने की कोशिश कर रही होती हूँ, शी आस्क्स मी दोस क्वेश्चंस. और मैंने रियलाइज किया कि एक्चुअली द मिनट शी आस्क्स मी दीज क्वेश्चंस आई गेट वेरी स्ट्रेस्ड, क्योंकि उधर मुझे ड्राइविंग करनी है, उधर मुझे दिमाग में कैलकुलेशन करके उसको बताना है कितने पैसे सेव करने चाहिए. आई कैन नॉट फोकस ऑन बोथ. सो एक दिन मैंने उसको बिठाया, मैंने उसको एक्सप्लेन किया कि बेटा, व्हेन यू डू दैट इट इज नॉट हेल्पफुल फॉर मी, इट इज गिविंग मी अनड्यू स्ट्रेस, खामखा का स्ट्रेस हो रहा है मुझे. कैन यू प्लीज स्टॉप दैट, एंड व्हेन वी आर होम, जब हम घर पहुंच गए हैं, तो आप मुझसे उस वक्त वो क्वेश्चंस पूछें जो कि इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं. दे नीड अ लॉट ऑफ अटेंशन, दे डिजर्व अ लॉट ऑफ अटेंशन. जब हम ड्राइव कर रहे हैं, मे बी टॉक टू मी अबाउट नॉर्मल एवरीडे चिट चैट, डोंट टॉक टू मी अबाउट द इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजंस इन लाइफ. And this is only one example that I have shared with you, जो कि मेरा stress trigger है. तो I know my stress trigger कि जब मुझे driving करते हुए कोई distract करे तो मेरा stress levels एकदम they shoot up. Another example is कि जब बर्तन धुले हुए नहीं होते तो मुझे बहुत चिढ़ होती है. It is my stress trigger. अब ट्रिगर मुझे पता है तो आई कैन इजीली सॉल्व इट, मैं उसको अवॉइड कर सकती हूँ. मैं चाहे बेटी को बोल दूं कि वो धो दे, चाहे मैं खुद धो दूं, जो भी है, बट आई कैन इजीली रिजॉल्व दैट स्ट्रेस ट्रिगर. सो द पॉइंट आई एम मेकिंग टू यू इज दैट इफ यू नो योर स्ट्रेस ट्रिगर, कौन सी चीज ट्रिगर करती है आपका स्ट्रेस, देन यू कैन मैनेज इट. बट इफ यू डोंट नो कि आपका स्ट्रेस कहाँ से ट्रिगर होता है, देन यू कैन नॉट मैनेज इट, देन यू कैन नॉट कोप विद स्ट्रेस, then you cannot build your resilience. तो I request you कि आप खुद अपना मुहासबा करें, खुद अपने आप को स्टडी करें, and very soon you will know. हो सकता है it is, कुछ लोगों को loud noises नहीं पसंद, अगर टीवी बहुत ऊंची आवाज में लगा हुआ है, that is really big stress, उनको हेडेक होना शुरू हो जाएगा, physical symptoms आना शुरू हो जाएंगे. Some people it is very stressful for them to go out in family gatherings. और हो सकता है कि आप family gatherings को 100% avoid ना कर सकें, but you can try and choose. You can maybe be selective on which people you interact with, where you go to. So the point is, if you know the stress trigger, then you can better deal with it. लेकिन अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है कि आपका स्ट्रेस किस वजह से स्टार्ट होता है, then you have no way of dealing with it. So a word of caution is कि जब आप कोई टास्क में मास्टरी करें तो वॉच आउट फॉर बर्न आउट. वो जो मैंने कुछ देर पहले बात की थी कि अपने आप को इतना मत थका दें that you are losing your sleep over it, you are missing your meal times, you are ignoring your family. Don't do that. Do the mastery, but in a way that suits you. Burnout की हद तक मत जाइए. Social modeling, when you look at other people who you aspire to be, who are your role models, remember to aspire to them. Remember not to compare yourself, because it is very very easy कि उसके पास तो 6,000 रुपए का नया कुर्ता था, मेरे पास 6,000 रुपए का नया कुर्ता नहीं है. So what am I doing? I'm just making myself miserable. It's not helping me. Yes, I want to look like her. She looks pretty. I want to look like her. Do I have the means to buy 6,000 रुपए का कुर्ता? If I have the means, good. If I don't have the means, I should not compare myself to her, because then I'm just making myself miserable. सोशल पर्सुएजन, ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि जब हम लोगों के पास जाते हैं who we like to meet, who give us positive energy, but there are also people who are energy vampires. वो जितनी आप में एनर्जी होती है वो उसको भी सक आउट कर लेते हैं. एंड आई एम श्योर दैट आप लोगों की लाइफ में, मेरी लाइफ में ऐसे बहुत लोग हैं, आपकी लाइफ में भी होंगे. यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई एटलीस्ट वन पर्सन हु इज दैट पर्सन हु इज द एनर्जी वैम्पायर. फॉर एवरी सोल्यूशन दे हैव अ प्रॉब्लम. तो उन लोगों को अवॉइड करें, उन लोगों के पास जाएं who give you positive energy, who make you feel good. जरूरी नहीं है कि आप रोज जाएं. Maybe it's your mother, maybe it is a friend, maybe it is a colleague, maybe it is your manager. Whoever that is, the person who makes you feel good about yourself, that will help you increase your self-worth, your self-confidence, and your resilience. And lastly, what I was saying, watch out for your trigger points. आपके ट्रिगर्स क्या हैं, किस चीज से आपको स्ट्रेस होता है, किस चीज से आपको दुख होता है. किस चीज से आपको तकलीफ होती है। आई नो कि हम उन सब चीजों को 100% अवॉइड नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन अगर हम किसी हद तक, इवन इफ वी आर मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड, कि अगर अगर हम, आई डोंट नो, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम बाहर जा रहे हैं अपने बच्चों के साथ, एंड आई नो कि पीपल आर गोइंग टू स्टेयर एट मी और पीपल आर गोइंग टू आस्क मी क्वेश्चंस, आई नो दैट इज माय ट्रिगर पॉइंट, but I can prepare myself better to deal with that situation. So I hope this was useful. The last slide is this slide. I will stay quiet for 1 minute. I want you to look at this carefully. Support is critical no matter what shape or form. आप इसमें देखेंगे फॉर्मूला 1 रेसिंग कार्स आ रही हैं, एक ही गाड़ी है जो बार बार लूप में चल रही है, वो गाड़ी आ रही है और जो टीम खड़ी हुई है तकरीबन 10-12 लोगों की टीम है, और नोट करें कि हर मेंबर का सिर्फ एक काम है, दे ओनली हैव वन टास्क, मल्टीपल टास्क नहीं कर रहे वो। देयर टास्क इज टू वर्क एज अ टीम एंड सपोर्ट द ड्राइवर इन गेटिंग टू द एंड गोल। जो फ्रंट पे खड़े हुए हैं ये हजरत, इनको देखिए, ये इनका काम सिर्फ और सिर्फ है कि गाड़ी को रोकना है इन्होंने, ये मशीन लगा के। ये जो साहब खड़े हुए हैं इनका मकसद है ये पीछे से गाड़ी को रोकना है इन्होंने। सो एवरीवन हैज गॉट वन स्पेसिफिक रोल टू प्ले। द रीजन आई शो दिस टू यू इज बिकॉज सपोर्ट फॉर यू इज इम्पोर्टेंट, चाहे वो आपके अपने पेरेंट्स की तरफ से आए, चाहे वो आपके बच्चों की तरफ से हो, चाहे वो आपके स्पाउस की तरफ से है, आपके हस्बैंड या वाइफ की तरफ से, चाहे वो आपकी फैमिली फ्रेंड्स हैं, चाहे वो आपके कॉलीग्स हैं, चाहे वो आपके मैनेजर्स हैं, चाहे वो आपके इंटरनेट फ्रेंड्स हैं, whoever that, चाहे वो लोग नहीं हैं, चाहे वो किताबें हैं, चाहे वो अल्लाह ताला हैं, whatever support means to you, it is critical. अपनी नीड्स को इग्नोर करके दूसरों की नीड्स को पूरा करना, ये आपके साथ ज्यादती है। और ये अल्लाह ताला खुद फरमाते हैं कि अपने साथ आप अपने साथ भला करें, अपने लिए अच्छी चीजें करें, अपने आप को टाइम दें। I will stop here. My final question for today is that what is your key takeaway from today's conversation? हमने 3 चीजें डिस्कस की हैं. We started from understanding inclusion. Why is inclusion important for families and for schools and teachers? उसके बाद we spoke about engaging with siblings. बच्चों के साथ जो घर में siblings हैं उन्हें कैसे engage करना है, what strategies to use. And finally, we talked about how do we cope with stress. तो ये 3 हमने चीजें डिस्कस की हैं. Again, अगर आप चैट में लिखना चाहें, I would be delighted to hear के what are you saying? What is your key takeaway? कोई ऐसी नई चीज है जो आपने आज सीखी है, कोई ऐसी चीज है जो कि आपने शेयर करना चाहते हैं, कोई ऐसी चीज है जो कि आप बाकियों को बताना चाहते हैं, write it here please. We are going through your comments. Academic resilience is completely different to the context of this conversation. So Amina, probably that's a separate conversation. We can have it offline. Balance in needs and wants. If we focus, we get to know our stresses. Excellent. So again, Amna, I think I run separate workshops for academic resilience and how students can cope. That is not the scope of this workshop. So I would ask you to get back in touch with me separately. We can take that conversation. Trying is better than quitting. Excellent. Yeah. Recognition is not easy. No, it's not easy at all. Bilkul theek bola aapne. How to overcome stress in a positive way. Perfect. Okay, right. So any questions? I think there's one question here. My elder son feels that I'm not loving him anymore. And then my younger son, how can I resolve this issue? जिसने भी ये क्वेश्चन पूछा है, I think it's a really important question. जैसे कि मैं बता रही थी कि हमारे बच्चे, they are humans. And it's very, very easy to forget कि उनकी भी needs हैं. It is very easy कि अगर हम अपने एक बच्चे पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, we can assume कि नहीं जो दूसरा बेटा है वो बड़ा है, वो अपने आप को संभाल लेगा और उसके पास वो समझदार है, वो समझता है. And remember, that is the mistake we are making. We are over expecting. At the end of the day, वो भी बच्चा है. at the end of the day, that kid also gets lonely, that kid also gets isolated, that kid also has important life decisions to make. तो जो हमने strategies discuss की हैं, उसके साथ बैठ के 1-to-1, अगर आपको ये specific problem है, I hope कि ये helpful है in some way, have a 1-to-1 conversation with your elder son. उसको बाहर ले जाएं 2 घंटे के लिए, उसको घर में अलग से जब और कोई भी नहीं है, without any distraction, without any phone calls, without any emails, उस बच्चे के साथ बैठ के बात करें, उसको बताएं कि बेटा this is what has been happening, maybe I have been preoccupied in looking after our younger son. Admit करें कि maybe there has been probably थोड़ी सी आपसे negligence हो गई है, और फिर बताएं कि what can I do to make things easier, how can I make you feel that I love you more. और अगर आप ये conversation direct नहीं पूछ सकते हैं तो try to do it in subtle ways every day कि बेटा आओ बैठो मेरे साथ बातें करो. और I know कि बेटे शायद ये नहीं, या बड़ी एज में जब बच्चे आ जाते हैं, teenagers especially, वो नहीं करते. I can talk to my daughter. The minute I say to her कि आओ बैठो मेरे साथ बातें करो, she will never come. लेकिन वो मैं उससे जब बातें शुरू करती हूँ तो without even her realizing she's talking to me, and her favorite topic is to talk about her friends. So I ask her कि अच्छा आपकी क्लास में जो वो बच्ची थी उसका क्या बना, अच्छा वो जो आपकी क्लास में वो बच्चा था वो उसके घर में किसी की बर्थडे थी, how did that go. Talk to your child about what interests them. और जब वो एक बार आपसे बात करना शुरू करते हैं, then you can talk to them about anything. But remember, this is not, ये कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि एक conversation में ये fix हो जाएगा. It will need multiple efforts from your side. It will need a lot of repeated efforts. I hope this is useful in some way. Lots of great conversations and great suggestions coming in. Great job in modifying mindsets, advocating, involve our kids in decision making. Excellent. Being a parent. So again, I think I want to summarize the whole conversation today. If you want to take one thing from today, please pay attention to your own needs. अपनी ज़रूरतों का ख्याल रखें, अपनी well-being needs का ख्याल रखें, even if that means you take 10 minutes of your time to go sit down, have a cup of tea. जब आप वो जो क्या कहते हैं कि वो जो खाली कंटेनर होता है वो किसी को और कुछ नहीं दे सकता. Think of you as a container. जब आप भरे हुए होंगे, only then you can give to others. जब आप ही खाली हैं तो आप दूसरों को कैसे देंगे? I would like to bring my conversation to a close. Arooj and Khatija, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Madiha, for a wonderful session. And I'm sure we had like more than 84 participants at a moment who were listening very keenly to you. And I'm sure you have added a lot of value to them. This is a topic which needs more pondering because there are so many aspects, and you have seen the enthusiasm of the participants that they want to know more about, how the academic side of it is covered. And I'm sure there are more diversions that down the line will be, covering. And like you said, that Debbie and you yourself want to contribute, and that's one of the beautiful things. I will move to Khatija so that she can give her input, and then we will go towards the end of the session. Over to you, Khatija.
Thank you very much, Madiha. I was going through the comments in the chat box, and I'm amazed to see कि कितना लोगों ने इसको enjoy किया है, and I'm sure people have learned a lot. मैंने बहुत सीखा. Thank you so much. Thank you. बहुत practical और बहुत real life से आपने इस पूरे concept को link किया और हमें समझाया. Thank you so much. अगर participants का कोई सवाल है तो kindly पूछ ले, और इंशाल्लाह फिर मदीहा साहिबा आपको रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगी. थैंक यू.
I do want to say, all the participants जिन्होंने इतनी मोहब्बत से participate किया है, मेरे questions का जवाब दिया है, और आपने chat में इतनी मोहब्बत भरी बातें लिखी हैं, बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. I know कि again मैं ज़रूर ये कहूँगी कि remember कि ये easy task नहीं है. Parenting और teaching is never an easy task, and ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई quick fix है. मैं भी parent हूँ, मैं भी माँ हूँ, मैं teacher भी हूँ, तो I know the both sides of the coin. But small and simple steps every day consistently, that is the message for today. Massive thanks to Khadija, to Aruj, to Mehwish, for being the IT support and for this session today. I'm so pleased that we have such excellent attendance and participation. Attendance hona to ek baat hai, wo hum Zoom mein login karke phir khana pakane chale jate hain. But actually to be here and to participate in the conversation, that's really, really heartwarming. Jitne log sun rahe hain, thank you.
It's an honor for us. Thank you so much.
Indeed, it's a great honor, and thank you so much. I think most of the participants, they have asked their questions, and it was a wonderful session, and looking forward to the next one. So with this, we will close, and thank you so much, Madhya, to Debbie. She's not here at the moment, for the wonderful sharing, and looking forward to the upcoming ones. To all the participants, Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.